Today we're focusing on the formal written method of long multiplication. In Year 5, the National Curriculum objective is to multiply numbers up to 4 digits by a 1-digit or a 2-digit number. Because we're looking at long multiplication today, we'll be multiplying a 4-digit number by a 2-digit number. I've got my number sentence here of 1,452. This is my multiplicand. And I am multiplying that by 24, which is my multiplier. And we're going to be looking for our product today. Now, multiplication is commutative, so it doesn't matter which way round I put the multiplicand or multiplier in my formal written method. I'm going to start with my multiplicand of 1,452. I place my multiplication sign to the left, and underneath I write my multiplier of 24. I'm going to use my ruler and create my equal signs. I need to leave 2 boxes free here. And I need to create a second equal sign underneath. And this is how I lay out long multiplication. I am going to start in my ones column, my smallest value. And I'm always going to be starting in my multiplier with the smallest value in that, which is 4. I have 24, and I'm going to start by multiplying my multiplicand by just the 4 in my multiplier. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be taking my 2 and I multiply it by 4, which gives me 8. And I place that in the first top box. I then move to my tens column, and I'm going to be doing 50 times 4, which gives me 200. I'm going to be placing a 0, because that 0 is in the tens column in 200, and I'm going to be carrying the 2 of 200 across to the hundreds column. And I just write it small there. I'm then going to be doing 400 times 4, which gives me 1,600. I then add the 200, which I've carried across, giving me 1,800. I'm replacing the 8 in the hundreds column, because that is the 800 in my 1,800, and I carry 1 across to my hundreds column, representing the 1,000. And then I'm going to be doing 1,000 times 4, which gives me 4,000. Plus the 1,000 I've carried gives me 5,000. So the product of 1,452 multiplied by 4 is 5,808. I'm now looking at the multiplicand still of 1,452, but this time I'm looking at my multiplier, and I've partitioned my multiplier into 20 and 4. I've already used the partition 4, I'm now focusing on the partition of the 20. So I'm now doing 1,452 multiplied by 20. Now, because I'm multiplying by 20, what I'm going to do is I'm going to place a 0 in the ones column underneath the 8. And that represents that this number is getting 10 times bigger, because 20 is a multiple of 10. So what I'm going to be doing here is I always start in the smallest value column, which is my ones column, and I'm looking at 2 multiplied by 20, which gives me 40, and I place that 4 in the tens column. I'm moving on to my hundreds column. My tens column. I'm looking at 50 multiplied by 20 gives me 1,000. Now, if I look at 1,000, the digit in the hundreds column is 0. So that's the digit I'm going to be placing in my hundreds column, and I'm carrying 1 to my thousands column to represent that 1,000. I'm now multiplying in my hundreds column, so 400 multiplied by 20 is 8,000. Add the carried 1,000 is 9,000, so I'm placing 9 in my thousands column. I'm now multiplying 1,000 by 20, which gives me 20,000, so I'm placing 2 in my 10,000s column. So the product of 1,452 multiplied by 20 is 29,040. So because I've partitioned 20 and 4, I've got a partition product at the moment. So what my next step is going to be is to add these 2 products. And I place an addition sign to the left. So I'm starting in my ones column. I've got 8 plus 0 is 8. 0 plus 40 is 40. 800 plus 0 is 800. I'm then looking at my thousands column. 5,000 plus 9,000 gives me the sum of 14,000. I'm placing the 4 in the thousands column and carrying 10,000 across, represented with a 1. I'm then adding 20,000 to my 10,000 that I've carried, giving me the sum of 30,000, and that's represented with a 3. So the product of 1,452 multiplied by 24 is 34,848.